What up, campers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Wednesday morning to everybody. Sorry about the slight delay. We had a tech issue, but it is fixed now, and we are good to go. It is Wednesday, May 22nd, 11:05 in New York City, 8:05 Los Angeles, California, 9:05 here, San Jose, Costa Rica. A giant win for the Raptors last night. A giant win. Everybody who shits all over Kyle Lowry, he was spectacular. 25 points. He led our team. The bench was great. Van Fleet, birth of his second child, does everything that we expected and we continue to expect. What's going to happen in Milwaukee? We'll cap that and study that. Worry about that later. But right now, let's just sit in the victory. And, of course, I did mess it up at the very end of King's Court. I did take the under. So, I mean, I gained, what? I got plus 135 on the money line. But still, I'm not going to let the fact that I was trying so hard just to stay away and only take the Raptors. I should have taken the Bucks team total under. That would have been a smarter play, obviously, looking back. But the Sharks lost. They were beaten up in the series. Those of you who said, don't hedge, why are you hedging? Thank God that I did. Thank God that I hedged. Thank God. Now, when the Sharks were up 2-1, I probably should have taken the Blues in each game. Believing in the Sharks in Game 5 in San Jose and not hedging was basically betting on the Sharks. Blues, Bruins, Stanley Cup. I know a lot of people liking Blues Game 1. That surprises me. We're going to have time to study that as well. But we have a huge baseball card today. Couple shouts out. First off, shout out to Lamont Williams. We got a bunch of shout outs, but shout out to Lamont Williams for his Toronto Blue Jays moneyline play. Shout out to Christopher Hogan, the stepdad's road play of the day. Yankees to score first and over 9.5. Dave LA had a big day. I screwed things up by adding some totals in baseball. I ended up going 5-5. Slightly up units, like, I don't know, less than 0.2 units up. Disappointing. We hit with Russia in the group stage. I ended up getting the $400 that I put, the $200 on the Blues at plus 200. Covers the Sharks futures because I only had $400 on the Sharks futures. So it's sad, but it is what it is. Shout out to all the cappers in the chat. Demetrius Miller in the house. First in the chat again. This guy's hustle. I hope that he's cashing because his hustle is inspiring. We got Lamont Williams, the sweaty butcher, Matt Randall. There is a taint play today. Boston, Toronto, under 9.5. And, man, that just scares me so much. I probably will get off the over. Sanchez says that his blister is not going to act up because it's a controlled temperature in the Rogers, or whatever we call the Sky Dome now. So he says that and I have quotes about his blisters. Porcello is not one on the road all year and just gets lit up by the Blue Jays. But Matt Randall's on the taint play today. Boston, Toronto under, so that gives me pause. Time for reflection. Shout out to Red Girl, Aaron Bister, Northside Gambling Channel says, let's go. Jimmy, was there ever a doubt? I love seeing that. And Aaron Bistrin, parlay coming with Texas Run Line. God, I can't believe I got talked off of the Texas Run Line. My fault. Just the Rangers don't hit lefties. And I keep saying, I believe in Lance Lynn. And then you guys say, you're the only one who does. Mistake. Peter Russell in the house. We got Walla Walla Dose, Lance LaRose, Poppy Longwood. Rockstar. Red Girl says Bucks might be done. That's the last thing I'm thinking. I do not think that the Bucks are done. But we have put some fear into them. They are second-guessing themselves. And it was another sign of, I really think that you take the regular season trends of a team and just put a lot less emphasis on them when it comes to playoff time. On point wagers, we got Juan Ruiz, we got King Rail. So we talked about Raps winning game 3 and 4. Jimmy in the series going 7. I did that last night because of all the minutes Kawhi has played. Great job, happy for your team. Yeah, we didn't just beat them. We put our foot on their throat and we stomped. Felt good. Paco Healy in the house. Paco Healy's Padres going for the sweep of the Diamondbacks. I wonder if he likes them tonight. Yu Chang Yu in the house. We got Scott Feinstein. Says, anybody need a birthday pick? Game 1, KC Royals team total solo over 3.5 to touch Waka. That makes a ton of sense to me. We'll get into those afternoon games and focus just solely on baseball today. We'll be joined by Drew Martin in 34 minutes. Chris Kaiser, Astute Chaos. I'll get you next week. Art Hayes. Christopher Hogan there with his stepdad's role play. They look forward to hear what it is today. Gerardo Hernandez, Series Business. Antoine Seymour. Dave L.A. Big Dick Donnie. Stephen Dollery. Brian Clark. Brandon Lugo. Alex Bennett. Michael Latore. What a great group. CT Bays. Yanks Guy 30. Astute Chaos Tease. Eddie Obasoan. Chris Martinez, Avi Gold, That Fire TV, Base Kniff, Joseph Tucker, Noli Knows. What a great group. Robert Cherry, Arizona plus 126. Arizona plus 126, Robert Cherry's play. He says, I like Astros team total over 4.5, Yankees team total over 5.5. I just felt like I squandered those 2 units that I got off the Yanks team total over 2.5 and 5.5. Just squandered them with those poor total plays late. As soon as Romo came in for the Marlins, I was like, oh, well, this is going over. I've lost. Dave L.A. liking the Grand Salami over. We got DJ Big Boss in the house. Day Jr. Smile says WNBA is going to be interesting this year, Jimmy. It is. It is because we have spectacular basketball cappers who are going to focus a ton of time on the WNBA. I can't wait. And we made a ton of money last year. I expect us to win it again. David Sand says, City of Milwaukee killed me last night. Yeah, the Brewers look terrible. Yanks guy says, Blues are playing for something bigger right now. Young girl, super fan, battling rare disease. Lila Anderson, look up story. Players said they're playing for her right now. I did not know that. And Neil Frank says, Bovada disabled my account because they think I disputed the deposit. That's not good, Neil Frank. Let us know if we can do anything to help. DJ Big Boss already on Arizona plus 122. Art Hayes says Bruins too much. Lance LaRose on the Bruins. Ski Profit in the house. We got Alonzo Shivers. HC Picks. Oscar Valverde Ramirez. What a group. Kevin Pine, Ryan Gosling. Artez Jackson. All right, let's get to work. Let's get to Yellow Jesus blessing everybody's picks. We got Drew Daddy says greetings from Phoenix. Waking up at 8 a.m. straight to the bag show. Love that, Drew Daddy. Silver Malco, Xavier Oliver, JD, Gerardo Hernandez. Raps are now plus 250 to win the series. They're plus 220 in my book. I only have them at plus 375 after game 1 to win the series, and I only put $100 on it. So, but we can back the Raps again on the road. We'll talk more about that. Rockstars on Arizona first 5. Gerardo Hernandez on Diamondbacks plus half. All right, let's get to work. But Paco Healy says Padres sweep, Big Boss. Yeah, I don't trust Merrill Kelly in this spot, but that's a late game. Let's start talking about the early games and what we are looking at right now. I'll tell you this. Now, David H. and us, we got Gas Station Sushi says, I love the under and A's and Tribe 9.5. Some very interesting spots, and the first one is extremely interesting. Oh, let's talk. Freddie, do you mind popping up the MLB record for us? It was a disappointing day. I easily smashed over 2 units on the Rockies game, get 2 units in the Yankees game, and still don't even end up. So that's what I was up. I was up 0.06 units. What a waste. Okay, let's talk about this. Red Brewers, this game pops off in 55 minutes. When I look at this game, I think, and I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about this, I think that this total that opened at 8.5 at Pinnacle, 8. Dave L.A. jumps on it at 8. A bunch of people jumping on 8. It's now at 7.5. It just felt, and the reason why I stayed off it, maybe this is going to be a big mistake, but by putting it at 8.5 and a sharp book like Pinnacle with the 2 of the top 4 ERAs in the league this year, it felt like they just wanted all the money to come in on the under. It just felt that way. Now, I'm assuming that there's no Yelich in the lineup, which is part of the reason why I moved down to 7.5. Let's take a look at what we're dealing with. We have Cincinnati's lineup. Do we have Milwaukee's yet? It says no. Yes, we do. Okay. Confirmed lineups. For the Reds, Senzel, Voto, Suarez, Winker, Dietrich, Iglesias, Van Meter in left field. Castillo, 8th, and Barnhart turning the lineup over at 9. For the Brew Crew, Kane, Moustakis, Grandal, Thames, Hira, Gamble, Perez, Arcia, Gamble, replacing Yelich. It just felt, Aaron Bister says Yelich is playing. Okay. It says no here. Ben Diaz says first 5 under 4, Jimmy, no Yelich, no Puig. It just is such a fishy total. And now it's at 7.5, where it probably should have been. And all this money is coming on the under. It just didn't sit right. Right away when I saw this line come out at 8.5, I was like, why is Pinnacle so sharp asking for all of the money on the under? And maybe I'm overthinking this, very possibly overthinking this, but I decided not to take the under. It was just too fishy here. Castillo, Davies, spectacular years so far. Reds don't hit righties, 213, 664 OPS. Brewers do, but that's with Yelich in the lineup. Davies faced the Reds in Cincinnati in his season debut April 1st, allowed 2 runs, 4 hits, 5 innings. Davies hasn't allowed more than 2 earned runs in any of his 9 starts this season. Longest streak to start a season in team history. Not making it through 6 innings in his first 5. He was talking about that in the press, saying he needs to get over that hump, and he's done that. He's now gone at least 6 innings each of his past 3 starts. Gamble coming in for Yelich, who went 0 for 4 yesterday. Castillo took his only loss against the Brewers on April 3rd. 1 run, 1 hit, 7 innings. He pitched great. Puig sat out the series opener, sitting out again here. Raven in the Desert says umpires 1-7 to the under. Listen, I get it. I get why everything tells us that this should go under. And the 8.5 was like, why? Why are you doing it? What's going on? And that just, maybe that scares me too much. Christopher Hogan says Stepdad's role play today is Cincinnati run line -1.5 and +150. Interesting. I will copy and paste Christopher Hogan's role play today. Christopher Hogan, please keep a record of your of the record and the units, if you could, with the units as well. Brian Watson. Oh, I felt so good. It felt so good. Felt so good, Brian Robson. NER says, where do you get that umpire stat? It's pretty easy to get the stats on umpires. There's lots of different spots to get that information. David H says pass. Joe Veason says momentum from last night. Reds to play. I'm staying off of it. There's 2 pitchers that I think that it could be I'm way higher on Davies than a lot of people. And Castillo's been spectacular this year. These are soft lineups. It should have opened at 7.5. I'm staying off this morning game. Reds, Brewers, I'm staying off. Josef Tucker, he's very, very good at singling out what pitchers he likes, props, strikeouts. So is Red Girl. They're both great at it. Josef Tucker, Castillo strikeouts over 7.5. He should get around 10 today. Isaac Hagen said, I had to take Blues last night, hedge my series bet. Yeah, I get it. I get why you did that, Isaac Higgins, and good job. Sadly, we had to do it. Everybody liking the under? Josef Tucker saying in 3 career starts versus Brew Crew, 9, 10, 9 strikeouts. DA Sportspicks NYC says both starters are fade candidates on this game. Line is very weird. Yeah, I'm just off of it. David H saying very small move. Jimmy, very small move on what, David H? Because I'm talking about the total, and it's been a very big move to me, a full run at Pinnacle. Opened at 8.5, and yesterday we were like, how could this be 8.5? Why do they want all the money on the under? What do they believe? Obviously, they believe it's going to go over. I mean, that's what I took from it. Abby Gold saying pass. Okay, I'm off of it. Best of luck to those who are on it. Let's talk A's Indians. So we have a couple teams here deciding on that we got to decide whether they're going to pull off a sweep or not. T said, Jimmy, my daughter comes home from school, and thanks to Lamont Williams, Matt Rand, and the rest of the chat, she's coming home to a car. Oh, Tease, that's so wonderful. Oh, what wonderful news. Oh, that's exciting. Tease. Oh, that's a sweet, sweet story. What a story. That is sweet. Okay, let's keep rolling. What a sweet story. How does that not put a big smile on your face? I love that. Okay, A's Indians. 69 Fahrenheit, light rain, 12 miles per hour, out to center. Just like Frankie Montas's last start, there are people who are saying, look, Frankie has bad numbers against the Indians. He had bad numbers against the Tigers. He's a different pitcher now. I think it's time we put a line through his past poor performances against some of these teams. I don't think they're important. Batiste says, one more parlay today to get her the luxury model. I hear that. Viper MB says, Oakland won 5 in a row. I have to back the hot team or pass. Dave LA, play of the day, A's first 5 team total over 2.5 against Jeffrey Rodriguez. What do we think of Jeffrey Rodriguez moving forward? He looked okay a couple starts ago. He did not look good last start. Let's see what we're getting market total-wise with these A's and the Indians. So it opened at 9. It's now up to 9.5. See, that move, again, now, it opened at 9 at plus 100. So it was juiced to the under. So it's a pretty big move to get up to 9.5. It's a pretty big move. If it was 9 at minus 120, it wouldn't be that big of a move. 9.5. Let's go to spreads and totals. Here at sportsbookreview.com, SBR odds page. Here we go. A's open at minus 115. There's been a 10-cent move towards them. Lance LaRose says Cleveland being flat. Rockstar says pass on Oakland, Cleveland. Base Kniff says Montas at a nice price. I agree with that. And I love the way Montas has been pitching right now. A's won 5 straight first 2 games of the series. Chris Davis removed from Tuesday's game, and he is on the IL. But Robert Perez is also being put on the IL, I believe. Yes, Roberto Perez, diagnosed with a concussion. CT Bay says A's have the day off tomorrow and are happy with 2 out of 3. Interesting. Let's take a look at the lineups we're dealing with right now. And still no finalized Cleveland lineup. Let me see if I can refresh that. Yes, okay. Oh, perfect. So, for the A's, we got Simeon, Profar, Chapman, Olsen, Kanya, Grossman, Pinder, Laureano, Hundley. For the Indians, we have Lindor, Kipnis, Santana, Bowers, Ramirez, Freeman, Mercado, Martini, Plawecki. Look, now, I've made a mistake, and Topset says staying away from Cleveland, Oakland. I've lost 2 straight plays. I had the Indians both last 2 games. And I went against the market move yesterday. I thought that I was getting value on Bauer. It was a mistake. But here, I think there's a big pitching advantage for Montas. I really do. Struck out a career-high 10, came within out of his first career complete game against Detroit on Friday. He received a no decision against the Indians on May 10th. 2 runs, struck out 7. Rodriguez coming off allowing a season high in runs 4, homers 2 against Baltimore. The performance came on the heels of a better one in his lone start against Oakland. He looked good. 3 runs, 6 innings, 3 runs, 6 hits, 6 innings. I think the A's are the play here. I think Montas has a nice start. And I think the A's are the play here. This game starts again in 46 minutes. So I'll have to make the bet as soon as we're joined. As soon as we're joined by Drew Martin. But I'm going to take the A's here. I'm going to back Montas. I think we're getting a discount. I think we have a big advantage pitching-wise. I'm fine. I mean, obviously you want a healthy Chris Davis in your lineup, but not the way he's been playing the last month. He's been battling injury. I'm going to jack it. I'm going to take the Oakland A's on the -1 line. Oakland A's -1. So for that, I'm getting a -123. That's available at Pinnacle and Heritage. Sorry, let's go. -123 is the money line. And the run line, let's see what I'm getting here. Oh, Brian says it starts at 1 Eastern. I have it at 12:15. Do I have it wrong here? I have it 12:10 here in Sportsbook Review. Do I have that wrong? Okay, I don't have time to check that, but maybe I must have that wrong. Okay, so sorry. Aaron Bissett saying Profar hot right now. Oh, okay, Raven and Desert says sorry. Umpire Red's game is 1-7 towards the home team and 3-3 on the. Sorry, I guess I have that wrong. My fault. Let me just double check that. Sorry, I'm gonna check a different site here. I have it here on this site. Here we go. Yes, Eastern. My fault. Sorry, I thought it was 12:10 for some reason. I thought the Cincinnati, Milwaukee, and Oakland games were at 12. Okay, my fault. We got lots of time. Lots of time. Thank you, guys. Okay, on the run line, I'm getting plus 135. I don't know if that's worth it. Minus 123 and plus 135. Let me just check the minus 1 calculator. That might not be worth it. So I'm getting what? Minus 123 plus 135. Gives me a plus 105 line. It's not worth it. Okay, scratch that. I'm just going to take the A's to win at minus 123. A's to win at minus 123. All right. Let's move forward. Royals, Cardinals. Let's take a look at the lineups and the market moves. Here we go. Spreads and totals. Okay, here we go. Sorry about that. 2 hours till the game. Thank you, Andy. Yeah, my fault. I had everything a little off. Russell Gordy says, games are early. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, so here we go. Royals, Cardinals, game 1 of the doubleheader. We just had Scott Feinstein saying, take the Royals team total over. Keller, Waka, the total opened at 9. It's now at 9.5. Cardinals open at minus 177. Being a 5-cent move towards the Royals. Russell Gordy says Cleveland gets this one, Jimmy. Yeah, I get it. I get it. If you CT Base says Indians win today. At one point, I used to always go against teams that were on their way to a sweep, and I'm not doing that anymore. Top says don't like Oakland and Day or versus righties. I think that there's an enormous advantage with Frankie Montas, and that Frankie Montas is the ace of this A's team, and he's showing us now. But good luck, Russell, and good luck, CT Bays. Get paid. I think that Frankie Montas is a stud. And with that advantage, I'm jumping all over it. Okay, Royals, Cardinals, Keller, Waka. Keller, 4.66 ERA, 1.50 whip. We got 77 Fahrenheit, clear, 14 miles per hour sideways, but sort of out to left, sideways, sort of out to left. Royals are hitting 257, 57 OPS versus righties. Cardinals are hitting 262, 767 OPS versus righties. Royals are on their father-son trip. So they have their dads there for the doubleheader. Both clubs have lost 5 consecutive series. Royals haven't won a series since April 12th to 14th when they swept the Indians. They've gone 0-9-1 in 10 series during that span. The Royals have not won a series on the road all season long. All season long. I have no idea. Robert Cherry saying Kobe said he's making a play on this doubleheader. Jimmy, you think he makes a play? I know he generally doesn't make plays on doubleheaders. I'm not sure what his plan is. He hasn't been in chat the last couple of days. Robert Cherry says, I know you fade Waka, Jimmy, so I won't ask. I would like to fade Waka. He's just looked really bad. When is Waka going to turn it around? Keller making his first start against the Cardinals. He had 2 relief appearances, no runs or hits in 2 innings. Cardinals have not won a series since a sweep at Washington April 29th to May 1st. They're playing bad. Walker's not pitched more than 6 innings in any start this season. Lamont Williams, I will grab that max bet right there from Lamont Williams there. Oh, sorry. Sorry, having a little problem there. Okay, copied and pasted. That's Lamont Williams. Max bet, Diamondbacks money line. I just don't know if I trust Merrill Kelly seeing a team for the 3rd time. CT Base says Royals first 5 plus 150. Keller 2.54 career ERA in day games, 4.47 at night. Interesting. Andre Smith says, I love Montas. The bag is spot on. I just think we're going to get value on Frankie Montas right now. Did you see the enormous value we had on him against the Tigers? I just think people don't understand that he is an ace. And they will soon. Rockstar says going to tail that team total over 3.5 on Royals. I like that look, CT Base. Top set taking the over. Dave LA says take the Royals in both games with the dads out there. That's an interesting look. Russell Gordy saying Oakland ready to go. Cleveland gets a W. I hear that. I understand that thought process. I understand the thought process. I think that the Royals' first 5 is a very interesting look. Let's take a look at what the lineups are. We don't have a St. Louis confirmed lineup yet. Do we have one now? No, still no. But for the Royals, Merrifield, Lopez, Mondesi, Gordon, Dozier, Soler, O'Hearn, Gallagher. I like that. And I guess you could even get them on the plus a half if you wanted, couldn't you? And probably still. Okay, so money line for the Royals. I like that look, CT Bays. I like it. Let's see. For the Royals on the money line, first 5 is plus 155. And with a plus a half run, you're still getting a plus line, plus 105. Ooh, I like that look. Dave LA says, Jimmy, very hard to sweep a team at home. Yes, it is very hard to sweep a team at home. Gabe Paskey says the dads aren't playing. JC Alvarez says, is there a taint play of the day? Yes, there is. The taint play of the day is Boston-Toronto under 9.5. Look, I get it, guys. I absolutely get it. I am taking Frankie Montas over Jeffrey Rodriguez. That's the plan here. Okay, I'm going to jump on this spot. I'm going to jump on the KC Royals first 5 plus a half run. KC Royals first 5 plus 0.5 at plus 105. I'm going to book that. And then this team total over is very interesting. Let's see what I'm getting at Pinnacle. Team total over for the Royals. KC Royals early game. All right, here we go. Game 1, over 3.5 at minus 141. I think that they get there. But I'm not going to add a minus 141 onto my spot. Royals first 5 plus a half and plus 105. Okay, that's my spot. Let's move on. Big Dick Donnie said, Jimmy, you got a birthday play for me. Oh, now first off, what I do have for you, Big Dick Donnie, what I do have for you is happy birthday. What a great guy. We got Big Dick Donnie. We've missed Small Dick Donnie and Average Dick Donnie, but we figured that Big Dick Donnie would eat Small Dick Donnie and Average Dick Donnie anyways. Big Dick Donnie, thank you for being putting so much energy into our show, man. Happy birthday. I hope it's a spectacular day for you and the start of an incredible year, and I believe it will be. Happy birthday to our guy, Big Dick Donnie in the house. Do I have? No, I'm not going to. This is something that our guy, Pete Loshak, made so special. And I'm not going to pretend that I'm going to be able to do what he did with the birthday pick. So I'm going to talk to you about, and there's no NHL play or NBA play. So we'll talk about what I think is the likeliest spot or the one I like the best on the card. But I think we'll just go with the other guys' plays of the day. We have the Stepdad's Road play of the day, Cincinnati run line minus 1.5 plus 150. We have the Taint play of the day, Boston Toronto under 9.5. But I'm going to take a little bit more time. Art Hayes says, my play today, Minnesota destroys Harvey. Yes, I like that. But let's stick with the morning games. We have Mariners, Rangers, Gonzalez versus Jesse Chavez. So we have a day of openers, sort of. Jesse Chavez is going to be used as an opener, and then Adrian Sampson comes in. Previously, when they used openers, I thought, man, this Rangers bullpen's terrible. This is going to hurt them, and I was wrong. And it basically because their bullpen isn't quite as bad as I made them out to be. Let's see where they're still bad, aren't they? 270 opponents batting average. They're terrible. Rangers ranked 24th in the league. Base Kniff says, I'm definitely fading Harvey. Russell Gordy says, how do you bet KC haven't won a series yet? Now on arrested St. Louis. Stop it, Jimmy. St. Louis wins. I'm not going to stop it, Russell Gordy. I'm not going to stop it. I'll get you next week, says Miss Loshak. I completely understand why you would. I'll get you next week. I believe that we all do. Rockstar took Twins first 5 full game. We're going to get close to that. James says, I live in Atlanta. Braves completely screwed my parlay with that damn walk-off last night. Shake my head. I can understand that. Drew Daddy cashed on Giants live at plus 323. That's gorgeous. Okay, let's talk about this Mariners Rangers spot. We have 10 minutes to get through some more games before we're joined by Drew Martin. Mariners, Rangers, Gonzalez, Chavez. Mariners hitting 246, 788 OPS versus righties. Rangers hitting 222, 724 OPS versus lefties. Rangers have been swinging the bats well, 20 runs in this 3-game winning streak, but I just don't trust him against lefties. This Marco Gonzalez started out 5-0 in April, right? He's first pitcher in Mariners history to win 5 games by the end of April. He's looked bad in his last 4 starts. 0-3, 5.94 ERA. He allowed a season-high 5 earned runs in his last start against Minnesota. But he's pitched well in 6 career starts against Texas. Dave L.A. like you, Mariners Rangers second half over. There's Elliott V. Elliott V, there it is. I partied with that win. I got with Ed Short Fuse Herman. Told you he'd win by KO. Respect. Like it. Michael Lattori said, how did the line move towards Brew after Yelly and Braun out? That line's been strange. The line and the total's been strange, very strange for a long time. Okay, Drew Daddy says, Giants keep coming back late and winning. Play the trend. Daryl Lyle says, I'm on Rangers, Seattle. Chris Kaiser liking Seattle. All right. Andre Smith says, Marco or bust for me. Ben Sports 24/7 saying they're betting KC off value, not who's going to win. Listen, I think walk is bad. I think a first 5 plus a half and plus money is something that I'd like to be involved in. Dave LA liking the Mariners Rangers second half over. Base Kniff says Mariners money line, my only made bet, good value versus Rangers, bad pitcher. Chavez is not going to be in there for long, but yes, he's bad. And the Rangers don't hit lefties well. Wonder if we could get a look at a lineup here. Here we go. Let's take a look at this lineup. Can we get it? Yes, we can. Okay, perfect. For the Mariners, Haniger, Vogelbach, Encarnacion, Narvaez, Bruce, Crawford, Moore, Shedlong, Malik Smith. For the Rangers, Chu, Santana, Pence, Mazzara, Forsythe, Odor, Cabrera, Guzman, Kiner, Falefa. I wonder if, let's take a look at what the market has done on this spot here. Gonzalez has been pitching bad. He pitches the Rangers well. Rangers struggle against lefties. I mean, they could barely get to Malone yesterday. Let's see what we're getting here value-wise. Texas, Seattle. Here we go. Oh, that's first 5. But I'm curious what the first 5 is anyways. Wow. Oh, that's minus a half. Okay, let's just see money lines first 5. Texas, Seattle, minus 120 for Seattle with Chavez starting. I think that's a good look, Mariners early. I like Mariners early. Minus 120 is what I'd be getting on Mariners early. I think Gonzalez can pitch better. Against a team that doesn't hit lefties well, I'm going to take them. I'm going to take Mariners first 5 and minus 120. Book it. Okay. I don't trust the Mariners bullpen, especially if they bring in a righty when we know this team can smash righties. Gate Paskey like the Seattle Texans under an 11.5. Base Kniff says Mariners got a better bullpen too. Barely, but they do. They do. Okay. Let's keep rolling. Nova Sports Picks liking the Brew Crew. I'm off that game. So we still have one more early game. Diamondbacks Padres, and you guys have been talking a lot about it. Merrill Kelly versus Eric Lauer. 62 Fahrenheit, partly cloudy and very, very windy for San Diego. 18 miles per hour, sideways and in. Dex Filer says, no faith in KC versus rest of cards at home. I have cards first 5. Waka, waka, waka. I get it. Top Set says Seattle first 5. I like. Let's take a look at this Arizona-San Diego game. Is Paco still with us? Paco Healy, if you're still with us, you like the Padres to sweep. And the Diamondbacks numbers against lefties are dropping slightly. Deshaun Simmons liking Diamondback money line. Russell Gordy says, afternoon show, we will discuss Royals and Cleveland games. Anything you would like, Russell Gordy. Anything you would like. Okay, Diamondbacks, Padres. Let's go to full game, spreads and totals. Diamondbacks, Padres. Here we go. Diamondbacks, Padres, Kelly Lauer opens at 8.5, all the way down to 7.5. That's got to be weather related. Lauer opens up at minus 137. There's been a 5-cent move towards the towards the Diamondbacks. Dave LA says Padres sweep Diamondbacks. I'm off it though. Russell Gordy liking Lauer first 5. Padres hit lefties very hard. 284, 844 OPS. Padres are hitting righties very softly. Padres going for the sweep. Lauer 1-2 against Arizona with 3.38 ERA. Merrill Kelly made his big league debut April 1st against the Padres. 30 years old. He played in Asia. Didn't know if he was ever going to get a chance to play in MLB. 3 runs, 5 hits, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, 6 innings. Looks good. So he's now had 2 starts against the Padres this season. They're going to see him for a 3rd time. And I think that he gets touched here. I really think that he gets touched here. I just don't trust Merrill Kelly. But do we trust Lauer? 0-2 against Diamondbacks in 2 starts this season. 7 runs, 17 hits, and a walk with 7 strikeouts. They've touched him. To me, if the weather wasn't so horrible, I would like the over. I would like the over. Let's take a look at what we're getting. There's Mr. Fat Fist ready to go. I guess we can't take the over with the weather like this. 7.5. Such a big move towards the under. Triple K Marine liking Diamondbacks on the alternative line. You know what? I'm going to stay off this game. The weather's going to help the pitchers. Both lineups are seeing these pitchers for the third time. I have more faith in Lauer, a first-round draft pick, than Merrill Kelly, who's come over from Asia, but Rockstar says you can't trust Lauer, and I can't trust Merrill Kelly in this spot. Deshaun Simmons says D-backs just the better team. Okay. Russell Gordy says, I trust Lauer at home. Let's take a look at what Lauer is at home. I don't have that number in front of me. I should have that. That would be need to add that to my action here. Here, I'm going to grab his home numbers right now. Let's take a look at what we are dealing with. At home is a good look. Lauer's been very disappointing. Lauer's been very disappointing this year. Let's see what he's looking like at home. Here we go. Lauer. At home, he has a 3.04 ERA and a 1.35 WHIP. That is nice. And who has he faced this Arizona team at home? He faced them on the road. Yeah, he faced them at home. Went 5 innings, 4 earned runs. You know, I'm off of it. I get it. I get why you would trust them at home. Robert Cherry says, then trust they won't get swept. Dave L.A. says, that's why I'm off this game. So many mixes of information. Don Ricci says, Diamondbacks just hitting a lull all year. They've been better on the road, in my opinion. They bounce back big. Even alternate run line might be a look as posted by Triple K Marine. I get all that. Okay, so I'm off of that spot. I'm off of Diamondbacks Padres. So to go over the early games again, I'm on the A's money line at minus 123. Royals first 5 plus a half and plus 105, and Mariners first 5 at minus 120. And that is my morning action. That's my morning action. I see Drew Martin getting himself ready to go for us here shortly. I'm looking forward to see if he has anything on these early games. While he's getting his camera set up, let me talk about Rockies, Pirates, and then we'll start moving through these games. We have John Gray versus Montana Durapo. Durapo is a opener, so this is only the second time the Pirates have ever used an opener, and the second time they've gone with Durapo as the opener. 78 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 7 miles per hour in. Pirates are also going to be without Gregory Polanco. He was scratched on Tuesday because of a jammed finger. Cervelli also left the game taking a foul tip near his neck. I wonder if he gets a day off as well. Gray on Friday at Philly gave up 5 runs, 5 hits, 3 walks, 8 strikeouts. I never know what we're going to get with Gray. The Gray Fox. I just don't know what we're going to get with John Gray ever. 3 career starts. He's 0-1 with a 9.95 ERA against the Pirates. Hasn't lasted more than 4 2/3 in any of those starts. Has given up 5 runs in 3 of his past 4 outings. I just don't trust it. Mr. Fatfist has wished my friend Graham Clark, good luck on his debut fight this Friday in Thailand. Yes. Mr. Clark, go get him in Thailand. Kick some ass. We believe in you. Exciting. Any friend of Mr. Fat Fist is a friend of ours. Go fucking get him. Go get him. Ronnie P. Our guy Ronnie P. says, I'm in Vegas, Jimmy. Need some money for some hookers. Hey, at least he's honest. I like it. Ronnie P. Let's talk about, we're going to see if Drew's on any number of games that we're on, but it just seems like there's not been much consensus action right now. We have Lamont Williams, max bets on the Diamondbacks money line. Christopher Hogan's road play of the day is Cincinnati run line minus 1.5. The taint play of the day is Boston Toronto under 9.5. There's just not been a lot of consensus action right now, Ronnie P. There's Hail to the Victors. Nice to see Hail to the Victors. It's been too long. Drew Daddy's on an early morning parlay. Brewers plus 1.5. Cardinals money line. First 5 under 5 in Oakland, Cleveland at plus 350. There you go, Ronnie P. There's a Drew Daddy parlay. Okay. Let's see. There's Bled's W in the house. Okay, and Grim Reaper ready to go. Okay, let's bring in our guy, Drew Martin. CT Bay's also saying great 5.09 ERA on the road this season. See what games Drew is touching on. We have a lot more work to do on this baseball card, but we did hammer all the morning games If Drew has morning plays, we'll talk about him, but I'd like to see if we can get some more work done on the later games. Drew Martin, thank you so much for joining us on this Wednesday morning. How you doing, my guy?
Good morning to you, Jimmy. Excited to be on the show, man. Buenos dias to you in Costa Rica, and what's up to everybody in the chat box. Hopefully get some winners here on this Wednesday of the MLB action, man.
Yes, I think so, and the morning card's pretty tricky. No consensus spots at this point, and the Reds Brewers make me so uncomfortable. That 8.5 that Pinnacle was opening it at, I was like, Pinnacle must have numbers that say it's going to go over, because they stuck the 8.5 when other books started at 8, expecting a ton of money on the under. Very, very strange. And then maybe they were concerned how much money was on it, because now they're all at 7.5. Very interesting. Do you have any plays on this morning card?
Yeah, huge move towards the under, and I did all my work as far as the stats go last night, and I love this under at 8.5. I thought it was worth a go, but it's 7.5. That does change a lot. I still think the under is worth a look. I mean, we got Castillo on the hill. He's over 60 innings now, sub-2 ERA, one of the best pitchers in baseball, and Davies has been consistent, Jimmy. You know, he's gone. He's not let up more than 2 earned runs all year long in any of his starts, just 1 walk in 5 Ks in each of the last 3 games. So he's very consistent no matter the lineup he's been facing. He's been solid. And versus righties, the Reds 670 team OPS, whereas the Brewers are 761 team OPS. So I think that really favors the Brewers in terms of a matchup standpoint from their lineups. However, the bullpen, the Reds bullpen ERA 3.35 compared to the Brewers pin 4.40 strikeouts. The Reds pin is at 16.8 percentage strikeout to walk ratio. That's 6th best in all of MLB. So the Reds bullpen has been solid. So I'd give that edge to the Reds, hitting edge to Milwaukee. But however, the Reds bats have gone cold. Just a 65 weighted runs created number the last 2 weeks. So I think that favors Milwaukee as well. So from a side perspective, looking towards Milwaukee here, pretty much a pick 'em price at home. And I kind of wonder if this total has gotten a little out of hand towards the under. However, I still like it towards the under.
Yeah, something just wasn't right to me. When they opened it up at 8.5, I was like, something is fishy here. I will watch and see if this is right, but I just felt like there were numbers that these books had that said, let's get all the money to come in on the under. But we'll see. They both there. We have the top 2 of the top 4 pitchers in earned run average, and they open at 8.5. It just doesn't make sense to me. I'm not going to make a move on this game. But what is your official play? You're on the under, and are you also on the Brewers?
I was on the under at 8.5 though, Jimmy. So as far as official plays for the show, I actually wouldn't have one. I haven't bet personally anything at these numbers right now. So I'm kind of with you, man. I'd probably pass. And you bring up a great point as far as Pinnacle putting up an 8.5 and going down to 7.5. As we, around the quarter mark of the season, I kind of feel that they're a little smarter than that, and there's a reason. So I think you're onto something. So at this number, I think you bring up some good enough points just to kind of lay off of this total, man.
Yeah, that was the plan. But, overthinking things has not worked in my favor so far this year. So I'm not saying that this is right. Poppy Longwood said since he takes it 5-3. Dom Ricci just locked in the Twins at -109, Brewers -105, Mets -106, and Toronto under 9.5 at -115. That's a copy and paster, Dom. Thank you for sharing that with me and the guys and girls in the chat. Sorry. Drew, what else are you looking at?
This Oakland-Cleveland game, I agree with the move here with the Oakland Athletics taking a little bit of money, getting bumped up, about 5 or 10 points now. Montez versus Rodriguez, 2 right-handers here. Rodriguez, it really hasn't been all that great. 1.5 whip his last 12 innings versus Cleveland. Both of these pitchers just faced the opposing lineups, I believe 2 starts ago. And Oakland you did fairly well. I believe 3 earned runs against him. Whereas on the other side, Montez, he's one of my favorite pitchers here in the American League. 22 strikeouts, just 1 walk in his last 3 games. He's been really dominant. This is a guy that can go mid-90s fastball, even higher at times. So he can kind of mow the opposing lineup down. Cleveland has underperformed year to date. One thing that does have me pumping the brakes, the reason I didn't go too heavy on Oakland, is Montez is only pitching off of 4 days rest. A lot of his better performances have come off of 5 or 6 days rest. So, he's a young guy. See how he kind of reacts here. I did put a half a unit on Oakland at minus 122. It's pushed up just a bit, so I still think it's worth a look here for a half a unit. Both teams with middle tier bullpens. And just last time Rodriguez went 6 innings, 3 earned runs, only 3 Ks in 6 innings. So Oakland was putting the bat on the ball. I think they can do it again here. We get him at a minus 125 price tag right now, low watermark. So I think that's worth a look. And I put a half a unit on the Oakland Athletics in early action today, Jimmy.
I did as well. I think there's just a huge advantage with Frankie Montas. I know there's no Chris Davis in the lineup, but look at this. The Indians lineup, I guess, supposedly has just come out. Let's take a look at it because it wasn't, or was it there? Yeah, it was there. Excuse me. Yeah. So we have Freeman, Mercado, Martin, and Plawecki, 6, 7, 8, 9. You roll through that. And Bowers at the 4 spot. Bowers, whom I like and I think has a high upside. He's been sitting out a ton of games for the Indians. So, I like this spot a lot. And I know it's very difficult to sweep a team at home and all that stuff, but I like it a lot. I'm all over this A spot. I mean, not all over. It's not making a huge bet on it, but I'm on the A's minus 123. I agree with it. What else are you looking at, Drew?
Looking at this Washington-New York Mets game, NL East battle on the night slate, Scherzer versus DeGrom. And, both of these two pitchers, sexy names, really good, coming from the right side. DeGrom, there's question marks pretty much because last time out he got rocked by the Marlins lineup, which is kind of eye-opening. They don't really get to many pitchers, especially not the top echelon pitchers. But I do think it's one of those situations the stat line looks a lot worse than it was. And when you go check his velocity, he was right there, consistent with normal, hitting pretty good velocity there, mid-90s. He let up 6 earned runs in 5 innings, yet his FIP was only 4.49. So I think he kind of suffered from just the ball finding the holes. Not necessarily that he was mowing the Marlins lineup down, but I think that they were getting more lucky than really good. Scherzer, on the other hand, 87 Ks already, Jimmy, and only 65 innings. And so he's got 87 Ks and only 14 walks year to date. So one of the better stat lines you'll really see from a starting pitcher. I think both of these two pitchers will dominate the opposing lineups. There's still a 6.5 out there in terms of full game total. So I like that towards the under, but even more so because these bullpens can be shaky. I had but below average bullpens, not necessarily the worst bullpens, but definitely below average. So I would point towards the first 5, the first half here, and go under the 3. You get plus money on it too.
Wow, that's ballsy, under the 3. But you're right. Scherzer has the best fielding independent ERA in the NL, 6.21 to 1 strikeout to walk ratio. DeGrom also 11.6 strikeouts per 9, which would be the highest of his career. I don't know what to do with this. 73 Fahrenheit's a nice day, very little wind. I understand that Scherzer and DeGrom have had some bad luck, and I don't know if we trust either offense right now. But it's just such a low total, and I almost feel like they need to prove something to us. Robert Cherry says Mets under 7.5. I mean, it's 6.5, isn't it? Let me grab it right now. Sorry, grab the market moves here. Sorry, I got too many boxes open. Here we go. Market moves, and it's a 6 now. Pinnacle's brought it down to 6. Wow.
Bookmakers got a 6.5 on the Nats Mets.
Yeah, Pinnacle and 5 Dimes have moved it down to 6. The other books have it at 6.5. Wow, that's wild. I understand. I understand it. I just need them to kind of show it to me. Carlos Pro says I like the over in the Mets-Nats game. At 6, God, I mean, at 6 and these bullpens. I would think about taking over. Now, we can wait all day and wait until the night game, but wow, that's very, very, very interesting. Okay, what else? What else? So you're on the first 5 under 3 at plus money. It's an interesting look. What else are you looking at on the card?
One more here, Jimmy. Got 3 for the show. The Cincinnati Milwaukee at this price, I don't think it's gonna make it. So Miami Detroit going with the Marlins here. At the Tigers, we got Urena and Norris coming from the left side. Miami doesn't hit anybody, so they definitely don't hit lefties. However, they've been playing better baseball since they went up to Chicago, played the Chicago Cubs tough. They have since been a positive in terms of if you're betting on the Marlins in the last 2 weeks. But either way, I like this again from a totals perspective. Norris torched by Oakland last time out, just on May 17th. 6 earned runs, 5 innings, only 2 Ks. He was decent overall, 4.5 ERA year to date. Urena, 2 earned runs, last 12 innings, and that's against the Cubs and the Rays, so 2 decent lineups, better than the lineup he's going to be facing today. And I know what a low bagger out there, kind of projected him to be the Cy Young Urena. I'm not going to go that far, but he does have kind of high ceiling talent. He can light it up in terms of velocity, and if he's right around the strike zone, he can be a tough guy to hit. He's not really getting strikeouts though. His movement isn't there like it has been in the past. The Marlins, 28th in all of Major League Baseball versus lefties and team OPS, just over the 600 mark. Like we talked about, they're not hitting many people, but definitely not lefties. This is the 29th and 30th, the last and the second to last lineups in terms of team OPS the last 2 weeks. So both lineups are not seeing the ball of recent. That points me towards the under. I'm staying away from both of these bullpens, definitely below average pins. Both of them, if you go by strikeout to walk ratio, they're bottom 10 bullpens in MLB. So I want to stay away from that. And we do get a pretty healthy number here of 5. I think all the 5.5s are gone, and you're going to have to lay minus 120 right now on the under of 5 in the first 5 innings. But I like it. Detroit Tigers on their lineup, 630 team OPS versus righties. They're the second worst lineup versus righties, only behind the Marlins. So 2 very bad lineups here. Jimmy, 29th and 30th in terms of most rankings. And I think both of these pitchers can have success and make it through 5 innings without giving up 5 runs. So I like the under in the first 5 here.
Yeah, I get it, but they were never 5.5s. It opened at 4.5. So it's moved towards 5 now. And I don't know why. I'm confused, a little confused about why this total, the full game total opened at 8.5. It's now up to 9. The Marlins are terrible batting, but they do hit lefties a little better than righties. Still poor. 228, 604 OPS versus lefties. Interesting. God, yeah, it's an interesting look on this Marlins Tiger spot that I haven't quite figured out at this point. I'm going to need to spend a little bit more time. What are they? Is 69 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 6 miles per hour in? Are they thinking that Daniel Norris is regressing and that the bats should be able to touch Urena a little bit? And if Norris regresses, what do you think would be the idea that it's gone up a little bit in the total?
I mean, that's the only thing I could really point to. Maybe Daniel Norris kind of getting lit up his last time out versus Oakland. Maybe the Marlins have played a little bit better of recent in terms of wins and losses. That might be something. I mean, also, neither of these 2 pitchers are necessarily lights out, command a lot of money in the marketplace. That's really the only thing I can point to here. Also, that's really all I got in terms of why I would bet it over. I like it under, Jimmy, and I think that pump up a half a point in the first 5. I think it gives us more value here. So at minus 120, 5 towards the under, I think that there's some value, man.
I get it. I'm going to need a little bit more time on this game because when I'm confused, I give it pause. Top Set says Marlins scored their weekly runs, Detroit and the under. Russell Gordy, liking Tigers, says my favorite play today, Jimmy, is the Detroit Tigers. Interesting look. We're going to have to shut the show down in a few minutes, but I have you for a few more minutes. Do you mind if we start kind of talking about some of the marquee matchups just to help us for our afternoon study?
Let's do it, man.
Well, let's talk Yankees, Orioles. The Yankees are just smashing Baltimore. Unbelievably smashing Baltimore. They've now won 10 straight games at Oriole Park. I hit with the first 5 team total over and full game team total over to the easiest plays of the year almost. Orioles have now given up 100 homers this season. That's faster than any team in MLB history. The 2000 Royals held the previous record. They did that in 56 games. Orioles have done it in 48 games. The Yankees are just smashing this team. Is Straley capable of slowing that down? Let's look at full game spreads and totals here for Orioles Yankees, and then we'll touch on the Cubbies game as well. Orioles Yankees. Yankees open at minus 220, just a 10-cent move towards them at 235. The total opens at 10. It's moved to 10.5. Just very, I mean, should we just keep backing Yankees team total overs blindly?
I mean, especially when they're in Camden Yards, it's just that ballpark. You don't got to hit it too far to get out. And this Yankees lineup, for whatever reason, sees it very well there. So going against Straley, I mean, to answer your question, no, I don't think Straley's going to have a solid outing. I would look for him to give up some crooked numbers early. It's just a matter of laying a big price with the Yankees. If you made me bet it, that's how I would look towards it. Either the Yankees or the run line. And also, if you made me bet the total, I would be on the over as well. We are talking double digits, though. And I haven't checked the weather as far as, which way the wind's blowing. But I would look towards the Yankees for sure, Jimmy.
72 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 7 miles per hour out to left field. Don Reed says Yanks didn't have one game in May where they had 10 hits or more until Baltimore. That's an interesting look. And then we have the taint play. I wanted just 2 more games. The taint play of the day is the under in Red Sox Blue Jays. And it's probably going to take me off the over, but Porcello is terrible on the road. Terrible against the Jays. On the road this year, he's 0-2 with a 7.11 ERA. Last 2 starts against Toronto last year, he's 0-1 with an 8.18 ERA. In his career, he's got a 5.55 ERA against the Jays. And then Sanchez is dealing with blisters. This is straight from Sanchez's mouth. He goes, if you look back, I had a problem in Oakland. It started, that's April 21st with this blister. Started in Minnesota where it was cold. I had a problem in Boston April 11th. It was cold. I had a problem in Chicago. It was cold. That was his last start. Hopefully it can heat up. And here's the big thing. And I'll get through it. I don't know why we're starting Sanchez today when he's got such an enormous history of blisters. I was going to make a bet on the over before the taint play today was the under. You have any feel or any lean in Red Sox Jays?
I would like to talk to Matt Randall about that. Yeah, I mean, just off a first look here, I would lean towards the over. And also, just last night, I mean, the Blue Jays bats kind of woke up a bit there. Sanchez, like you talked about, man, it could be an early exit, not because he's getting lit up, because of all the issues with his blisters as well. Minus 160 in terms of side, been pushed up on Boston. I mean, Boston has found their footing since the terrible start, so don't necessarily disagree with that. I don't have a personal play on it right now, Jimmy, but I'm kind of with you. The total, little head scratching. It definitely would take some balls to be on this under.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to give me pause, but Richard Lee said Sox, too much firepower. Wow. So, I mean, there's actually a good feeling in that clubhouse for the first time in a long time. Okay, so then we're gonna have Dodgers, Rays battling each other tonight. We have the game 2 in the Royals, Cardinals. But let's just finish off this show talking about another marquee matchup: Phillies, Cubs. Cole Irvin, the kid, versus Cole Hamels, the vet. 73 Fahrenheit. 14 miles per hour out to left center. A very nice day, possibly, for offense. And we haven't seen a lot of those days yet in Wrigley Field. Been very cold throughout the course of the season so far. Phillies are hitting 244, 731 OPS versus lefties. Cubs are 234, 772 OPS versus lefties. Hamels against his former team for the first time. And that was surprising. We just saw Arrieta against his former team for the first time. Seems like these vets really care about the spots and step up. So Hamels had that great career, 114.90, 3.30 ERA with the Phillies. And now they're going up against Irvin, who was a fifth-round pick in 2016, pitched at Oregon. Harper is doing nothing offensively. Let's take a quick look at what we get here in this Cubbies Phillies spot. Where is it? Right here. The total opened up at 9.5. I guess the weather pushed it to 10.5. So it's gone up a full run. Now it was heavily juiced to the over. So it was over 9.5 at minus 125. But it still has gone up for a full run. And Hamels opens at minus 150 and be a 5-cent move towards the Cubbies. You have a feel on this one?
I would say watch the wind. It can change there in Wrigley, and we have seen some over money. So as it gets closer to 8:05, I believe Eastern first pitch time, just watch that wind. If it does change, maybe there might be value on the under, because we know just in recent games, like you talked about, when that wind is coming in, it can be very, very difficult to hit home runs, very difficult on the lineups. Overall, I mean, at minus 160, I don't know a lot about Irvin. Like you said, pitching at Oregon, just read about him. I haven't actually seen him pitch, so I tend to kind of pump the brakes on getting involved. I just like to see these guys in action. But two lefties, from a side perspective, I didn't bet it total. I would look towards the under, especially if the wind changes. But in Wrigley, as you know, Jimmy, it depends a lot with the wind in betting totals. You also brought up the Dodgers versus the Rays. Want to bring up an interesting betting angle in that one. A lot of times when teams, an NL West team going to play an AL East team, especially in Tropicana Field, it's not like a lot of other ballparks that you can really play in at any level of baseball. It's, in my opinion, the worst ballpark out there. And a lot of teams don't perform well in it just because, the lighting, it's kind of a dim atmosphere. But the Dodgers, their lineup stepping in front of that is very difficult. And the betting markets now at minus 130 have kind of stabilized. I just don't want to step in front of this Dodgers lineup. But whenever you get kind of the NL West traveling to play in Tropicana, it's always something I'd look to fade and bet on the Reds. It's just a matter of I didn't want to step in front of this lineup right now, Jimmy.
Yeah, no, those are good breakdowns. And our guy Jay Stanley says, I watch every Cubs game. Cole Hamels will not have a good day today. Beautiful weather. Expect the bats to open up for both teams. Very, very interesting. Robert Cherry liking the Phillies money line plus 120. Dave L.A. liking Dodgers Rays first 5 over. Both pitchers will give up runs. Very, very interesting work, and we'll have to hammer this card hard on the Late Show. Drew, thank you so much for joining us, my friend. Where can we find you on Twitter? What else you got going on this week?
Yeah, at Drew Martin Bets on Twitter. We got the NBA closing line show Saturday and Sunday with Ski Profit, also Ian Cameron on Saturday. So it's a fun one there on the weekend, 11 a.m. Eastern on the SBR YouTube channel. And just to summarize, got Oakland minus 125 in early action at 1 p.m. Also got the under 3 first 5 innings. Washington, New York Mets plus money, can get it at plus 105 right now. That's the under 3 first 5 Washington, New York Mets, and also the Miami Detroit Tigers game, like the under 5 minus 122 in the first 5. That's Miami Detroit under 5 first 5.
It's great stuff, and I'm only on 3 plays, although it looks like the Twins, I'm going to spend a little more time. I didn't get to the last 2 late games as much as I wanted to. It seems like the Twins are a play that, just makes a ton of sense with Martin Perez, 6-1, 2.89 ERA. He looks so good this year, and the Angels can't hit lefties and lose to lefties, and Harvey expected to be touched. I'm only on 3 plays. I'm on the A's minus 123, Royals first 5 plus a half at plus 105, and Mariners first 5 at minus 120. Drew, thank you so much for joining us. Tease, congratulations on getting the car for your daughter. Big Dick Donnie, happy birthday to all the low baggers in the chat that put so much energy into our show. We have no show without you. Ronnie P in Vegas right now. Get that cash, my guy. We're going to be cheering for you. Please give us updates as we get through the week as to how you're doing and just sending you all the positive energy in the world. Much love to all you guys. Most importantly, Leche, hey, los bookmakers!